So today we have Alex, Jakubov, we have Libor, Volf, and they are with Volf Academy. So I'm excited to have you guys here on the soccer ladder because you both played and now you're both coaches running this academy. So it'll be great to get both aspects. So welcome.
Thank you for having us.
I started the soccer ladder because I'm a soccer mom. My son Liam is in his first year with Red Bulls Academy, and it's an amazing journey, but it's overwhelming. There's just so much that's unknown. So what better to hear from coaches and players and people that have been on this journey. With that, let's get started on a couple questions. Alex, so you played pro soccer, and Libor, did you play pro soccer as well?
I did play. I played for youth national team Czech Republic until U18. Then I played in Spain, but I quit very young, at 24. So because of the injuries, but Alex definitely play on the high level.
Can you walk us through your soccer journeys?
Yes, so I can start with my youth career where I started in Slovakia with my brother, and I the first 5 6 years I played 2 years up, and then our path separated. He went to Austria Vienna, and I went to Academy of the Sparta Prague, which is my hometown. And age of 17, I went to Academy of FC Porto. I was there for almost 2 years, and then I went back to Czech Republic to finish the high school and trying to get pro. And basically through lower division, I made it to the highest Czech league. And I used to play for one of the biggest club in Czech Republic, Baník Ostrava. I used to play for Sparta Prague. And I spent basically 10 years as a pro player.
What advice would you guys give to young players who want to go pro but might not be in a traditional academy setting?
Should I start? Okay, so for me, I think to love the game. For us as a coaches, the most important is to share the love for the game because especially in these days when everything is like a lot of social media, so there's players that chasing the fame. They see everything is cool on Instagram, and they have the best, more expensive shoes all around the world. So the most important for me as a coach is to love the game, love to train. Because for us, me and Alex, we grew up in an environment where we were still playing outside. We didn't have a computers like we didn't have iPhones. So we used to after school we would go home and just go outside and play and play with the friends. On the concrete, play 3 against 3, 2 against 2. So trying all those moves and all those technical development what we offer right now to our players, we did it we did it outside, but because we loved it so much. So for me, the most important thing is to really love the process, love training, and then the rest will come. And of course, you need to have a little bit of luck. You need to be aware of injuries. You need to have a good coaches. They can push you in the right direction because good coach they can push you in the right direction, but also bad coach can also damage you as well. So that's what I think is the most important.
No, I agree with the love of the game and passion for the game, and then you have to work hard, keep believing, and like it's possible, but you have to be also realistic, right? But I would suggest to work hard and chase the dream.
This is kind of off topic, but it's something that we've talked about with all of our guests. I feel like kids are signing younger and younger, like pro contracts. What are your thoughts on kids signing younger versus going to college?
Well, so as we grew up in Europe, for us or for me especially, it was only the one dream, like to play pro. So basically, that's why I even skipped high school for 1 year and went and took a risk to go to Portugal. And as you said, like they're signing early age, right? They get money, they get money involved in early age, and it's like bigger pressure for them to sign the contract when they are 15, 16 years old, right? I know that most of the players here in States they will use the tool soccer as a path to the school, right? And only maybe few players would think about to go pro to Europe. Of course, you have Major League Soccer here, and the whole system is supporting now younger players, right? And they're pushing younger players, which I agree, which is good, but it comes with a lot of pressure to them at the early age.
For me, like I've been coaching since 2012, so almost 13 years, and I had few players that we would bring to Europe, to train with European clubs, and I think it's very competitive there. Not even one person can make it pro. It's very hard. There's so many players, but just the less spots. So for me, I would, if I would have a daughter or son, I would definitely go for college because for me, to have education is the key. Because after what happened to me, and I see that all around, you have injuries or basically sometimes you see 15 years old player, he's the best, and by the age 17, he's just average. You never know. In soccer, especially in any sport, you never know what's going to happen. So for me, education is the most important. And then if they are good, they can play high level college, they can play MLS. And if they are really good, there is a lot of scouts in those days in MLS. I was in Czech Republic actually last year. And then I was watching my friend who still play first division and is a small club as the first division. And I met a general manager from Houston there. And I was like, it's unbelievable. So my brother was wearing, this is actually a funny story. My brother was wearing our merch here, which is Volf Soccer Vancouver. And then he comes to me, my brother says, "Hey, Libor, someone is talking to me English. I don't fully understand." So I went there, and then I see the guy with well dressed in suit, and then we start to have a conversation. And he's from Vancouver, but he works for Houston, and now he's a general manager. And I was asking him, "So what are you doing in a small city in Czech Republic, out of nowhere?" "Well, I'm scouting players." So
That's a
it's
cool
unbelievable.
story. I love
It is a
that.
very cool story. Definitely, I like education. I think even the big European clubs, they putting a lot of pressure on education because they know that not this what I said. Even one person can make it pro, and the rest. So what you need to have a good education in order to have a good job. And
Yeah, that
Mhm.
seems like the theme that we've been hearing
Yeah.
from our guests.
yeah,
It's just
but
because
also
it's so hard. I mean, it's just a very small
yeah.
percentage.
Lots of like I've been in Vancouver in Canada for those 12 years, and parents and players they have a dream which is good, but like Alex said, you have to be also realistic. No one is waiting for a Canadian and American players in Europe unless they are very extraordinary good, and of course they need to have a little bit of luck as well.
How'd you guys deal with setbacks or transitions in your guys' careers?
So yeah, there were difficult times in my careers for sure, like a lot of them. And the first was probably like when I moved to Portugal when I was 17. So there was a brand new like team, right, for me. You have no friends, no family around, different language. Although I started to learn Portuguese when I already knew that I will sign the contract there, but still it's kind of different language, right? So different culture, and basically there is a pressure for you because you are a foreign player and you have to be better than domestic players, right? So uh, I won't lie. There was a time that I wanted to go home and I wanted to just quit, right? Because like it's hard to be in a different country without your close family or friends. But I went through like it's 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 not in sport only. It's in life general, right? When you have some tough times, you just have to go through, right? Um, and then when I was pro, then of course like you have some injuries. I was lucky that I haven't been injured like a serious injury. But every 6 months, someone wants to steal your spot. There are new strikers coming, right? You're under the pressure. I was striker, so you're supposed to score goals. If you score 5, 10 goals, everybody is very happy. You are best friend with everyone. But when you stop to score goals, like there is a big pressure, right? And there is no time to basically not scoring the goals as a striker, because they just that's your job number one, to score goals. So if you don't provide the goals, they change you piece for piece, right? So it was tough mentally as well. I'm lucky that I have a good relationship with my family, with my friends who helped me a lot. For some period of time, I had also the life coach outside of soccer. He wasn't involved in soccer environment, which gave me another thoughts as well. So that how I dealt with depression, with the setbacks.
Yeah, I like that idea of a life coach or like having a mentor.
To guide you through.
So, yeah.
It's-
So Libor, what was the question?
How would you deal with
Yeah.
setbacks?
Back in days, Liam, when we grew up, so I grew up in a small village. It was just 1,000 people. So until I was 14, I was just playing free. I played for a small village club. There were no coaches, like not good coaches. There was just one coach who comes to the field, gives you the ball, and we just played, right? So that was the kind of the old school. There was no fancy training, no fancy. And I'm still young. I consider myself still young, but back in days, there was absolutely different story. Now you have different coaches for skills, for tactical, for fitness. Now it's definitely different. So when I was 14, one of the biggest club bought me. And when I was 15, I got in a national team, which is only 18 players outside of all the Czech Republic. So for me, it was like almost magic. I was like, imagine me, like from thousand people village, I got between the best 18 players in Czech Republic. And it was okay. We traveled to Europe. We would go to Spain. We would go to Holland. I would skip the school. I had an individual plan in school. So I was walking in the school like a boss. It was fun. And I felt very fortunate that day. But when I was 19, I tore my ACL and everything changed, you know? So before I was in the club, very talented players, like they saw me like in the first team. And when I was 19, I couldn't get back. I was like, after the injury, that was absolutely different. And I was always I was asking myself, so cannot I get back to the same what I used to be? Because my dream was always to play in Germany, make a lot of money, play for the biggest club. But somewhere there it changed, and I had to accept it. So it was very tough. I moved to Spain. I played the lower division, third division in Spain. But I learned new language. I learned Spanish. I made new friends. But then I have to accept it that basically I will never make it in the top league. It was tough first 2-3 months because when you are in different country, you don't speak the language and you are alone there, which I was. But and then you see your friends; they are in newspapers. Even friends you used to play against them during the practice, and you were much better in your eyes. And now they play the Champions League, UEFA League, and then you are playing third division in Spain somewhere, which is the players were still really good because Spain is a great country for soccer development. But it was tough, so I was depressed for 3-4 months. But you gotta be strong and I accepted. I accepted a new chapter of my life. But in these days, I think it's easier now because you have a mentors. People talk more about it. You coaches are actually more educated than back in days. So I think now players get more support than we used to get before.
So would you guys say overall, like it's just important to have like a positive attitude, like perseverance? Yeah, when dealing with setbacks.
Well, definitely, you have to think positive, and you don't want to give up, right? So you just go through.
What inspired you to start Volf Soccer Academy?
It's it's a long story, but I want to try to keep it short. So when I was in Spain, so one of my good friend, he came to visit me, and then Then he moved to Vancouver, and I spent 2 years in Spain. And I went to visit him in Canada, and I stayed. I accepted a new chapter of my life. I moved there. I moved to Vancouver. I started working construction, which was very hard because for us as a soccer players, we never work with our hands. So that was I'm not I'm gonna be honest, it was not easy at all. And I never want to be a soccer coach. I moved to Canada just to change my life. And one of my friends, she's like, "Why don't you start training?" And I was like, "Oh, I never thought about becoming a soccer coach." But now here we are, 14 years later. So actually, we started soccer. I started in 2012, and just with 4 kids in the middle of Vancouver in one park, and it has grown so big. So first 4 years, it was not even business. I had around 100 players, but after that, I started traveling around the world, meeting the best coaches in Europe, and I realized that I really love it. It became my passion, and but I have to say thank you to my friend, because without her, I think I wouldn't be in the same position right now, traveling the world and working with such amazing coaches like Alex. Most of our coaches are our friends. We used to play together, and we have the job we always wanted. Because for a soccer player, when you are a professional soccer player, and then once you finish your career, it's very hard to go back to your life, because you are 35 if you're lucky, and you have zero experience in life. You just only what you know is just playing the soccer. So for us now, we have something what we can keep for us of our life, not maybe in the same intensity, energy, or how we train right now, but we are enjoying every day, every moment on the field, even off the field.
Oh, I love that.
Mhm.
So, you guys are located in Dallas, is that correct?
In South Lake, which is part of, well, it's close to the airport in Dallas, right? Yes.
Tell us more about your academy, because I feel like it's very unique. Give us an overview of what you guys do.
So I can start about the States. We basically moved here 2 years ago to Dallas, and um, we moved all our practices to the brand new facility, ULIT. It's called ULIT, and it's in South Lake, which is like 10 miles from the airport. Um, we have also Canada, Uganda, Egypt, and Czech Republic, because we are both from Czech Republic, of course. And the Uganda, I think Libor will tell you more about that. It's a charity. But about the states, we have kids age 6 to 18. We have some pro players or college players who trains mostly during the off season with us. And basically, we focus on the player development, on the skills training, with a lot of game situation, a lot of small games, everything on small space under the pressure with the high intensity. That's the number one feedback what we get from parents, which is intensity, and they got a full hour of training. Um, we do shooting trainings. We have camps. We try to connect the world with the Volf Soccer Academy.
That's awesome.
Mhm.
And then how do they all correlate to each other? Do they all work together, all your academies?
Yes. So the first school was 2012 in Canada. Then 2015, I started in Czech Republic. 2017 was Uganda. It's just the charity project. One of the guys sent me a message on Facebook that they were organizing some skills tournament in Kampala in Uganda, capital city, in December, and if I can support them financially a little bit for the tournament. So I raised some money, and believe it or not, 2 months later I was on the plane down to Uganda. I was crazy, and that was a crazy. Honestly, that was a crazy decision what I ever made in my life. It was so scary because the first time flying down to Uganda, I didn't know the people, but when I saw players like at the tournament, then I realized that I have to one day come back. I just love the passion. Kids without the shoes, they would play for a day, hours and hours. So it took me 2 years to build a business plan for that, and so now we've been there for yeah like almost 80 years. Every year we bring 500 shoes. We collect the shoes in Canada. We collect the shoes in US, in Europe, in Germany. We put them on the plane and we bring them to kids to Uganda. Last year we brought one player from Uganda to Czech Republic for 2 weeks camps. This year we are preparing visa for him. Very talented 14 years old player. He lives alone without parents. So we built. It's a great story. But before I would teach all our coaches by myself. Now as we are growing, so it's becoming more complicated. So it's always good to have coaches like Alex who understand the philosophy. That I have another coach, Lucas, who runs Canada, also understand the philosophy. And our future goal is to build more academies across the United States and connect it to sport agency. But at the end of the day, we enjoy the process of training kids. The best time is to spend time training the kids instead of just signing big deals and telling parents, some not realistic dreams. We want to be always honest with parents. We want to support them. We do have a connection in Europe for past 8-10 years. I brought few players, as I said, when I had one boy, a Croatian boy, he was 13 years old. I brought him to Borussia Dortmund, which is one of the best youth club in Europe. And it was very interesting because I brought him to my friend who has an academy in Dortmund, and he tried him for 2 practices, and then he goes, no, this boy has to go to a real club, to Borussia Dortmund. He made a call, and the same day we were training. And this boy actually was so good. So he was between 5 best players on the team. So the coach after the practice came to me and said, Libor, where's this boy coming from? I said, Canada. I was like, I cannot believe that. He's so good. And he also said, like, if the family would be living today here in Germany, he would have his spot. So then I realized that you can develop players and you can find the players anywhere around the world. The talent is born everywhere. It's just a question of connections and sometimes luck, and also work ethic and character of the player.
I mean, connections do play a big part of it too,
Definitely.
100%.
Because I want to say one last thing, because especially in this right now in this time, all the clubs, they're getting 100 emails every day. Every day someone is knocking the door, because and it's very complicated because you have also international academies in Europe. They call it like let's see, FC Barcelona, FC Biscol has an academy, Real Madrid Foundation has an academy, which is just the name. It's a franchise, but it doesn't have nothing to do with the club. The real club. Okay, so for us, we always wanted to bring the players to give them tryout with the real club, which is harder. It's because imagine like you are the coach of Borussia Dortmund, you don't want to have every practice 5 new kids there, because then you cannot work. So it's very complicated to bring them to the real club, but in order to compare them with really good players, you need to bring them to the club, not the academy in Madrid, in Barcelona, in London, where parents pay for it. Okay, because then everybody can get there. So when you come to the club, if you compare the players, the quality is much higher than just the international academy. So we go through our friends. We do have friends. We used to play together. They respect us. They like us. So we're always trying to find always some solution with our friends, because without friends, it's impossible.
Oh, yeah, for
Mhm.
sure. I love that. And how did you two connect?
So I moved to Vancouver in September 2020, 5 months after I quit professional soccer. And I had the same story. I wanted to change my life a little bit, to travel. I had my best friend in Vancouver. He still lives there, and through mutual friend, I knew that there is some Libor Volf doing the skills training, and we met right away. And I started to coach. I was there for 1 year, and then in that 1 year, we became very good friends, and we had the same idea to move to States. And then we started the whole process of business visa, which took us almost 1 year, and a lot of struggle through that year. But at the end of the day, we got the visa, and we moved here 2 years ago. And I think in those 2 years, what we accomplished here, it's a very good job what we did here.
Yeah, we're gonna send Liam down to train with you guys.
Anytime.
Tomorrow was
What qualities or values do you prioritize in players beyond just technical skill?
So definitely the character of the player, how hard work they wanna do, how hard they wanna train, if they help other players, so for me, number one thing, it's the character of the player.
Have you guys ever like saw like a really talented player, but his attitude is just not good?
Not only here, it happens in Europe as well. Like you can hear so many stories about the very talented players, but uh, they didn't want to they didn't want to work hard enough, and then at some point the talent is not enough. And if you hear the interviews with all the successful athletes, not only in soccer, they will tell you that without the hard work, it's impossible, right? um, you see now even now during the days of social media, you can see how everybody is training extra, like even the top athletes. You see those trainings, and they don't show it because of the social media. They show it consistently. Like it wouldn't be possible, like these all athletes, like in all kind of sports, they longevity and everything, how they perform for 20 years without the hard work and consistency would be impossible, right?
for me it's the same. I mean, the character, of the field. When I always watch when we have a first skate or first tryout, I always see the character. When someone walks to the field, gives you high five, greets you, and looks in your eyes, and you feel the energy instead of someone who just step. We see that a lot of it in Canada and US. The kids, they just show up to the field, and they don't even say hi to coach. They don't give you high five. In Europe, it's different. Sorry, I go often to Germany for training, and it's absolutely different environment. Every player who comes to the training gives high five, even to parents. They look into your eyes. You see the confidence. You see the body language. And the same what you have outside of the field, then you reflect to the game, to the field, because we always say the field never lies. So how you behave off the field, you also behave on the field.
I
You know,
love that.
and this is
Yeah.
very important. This is very important. So you know, we teach them to be confident, but also respectful. Respect to parents, respect to coaches, and some of the coaches, for example, small example. We hear so many times that the juggling is not important, but for us, juggling is the old school. We do every practice for 5 minute juggles just for fun, coordination, to focus, activate the brain, but also you see the character of the player. You see who is into it, who is ready for the training, who wants to improve the first touch. And so this is small things with you as a coach you need to see, and it also help you to how to approach the player later on. Liam, you like Madrid, Real Madrid.
No, but I'm a Barca fan.
Oh my gosh, thanks God.
I'm leaving. I'm quitting the podcast.
So Liam, so I was about to tell you that if you like Real Madrid, you will be training only with Alex. But if you like Barcelona, you my boy.
Barca's better.
Oh.
Actually, Liam, I'm going in 2 weeks. I'm taking two players from Prague. We're taking to Barcelona to train with Barcelona coach.
Wow,
Oh,
that's crazy.
Lee, you want to jump in on that trip?
Yeah, sure I do.
You are more than welcome to. Don't worry, we will set up something, okay?
That is so awesome. I love that. You guys are fun.
What advice would you give your 16-year-old selves?
I would definitely say work harder and more. That's the number one advice. And listen to more experienced people.
Yeah, you can
Mhm.
always learn something from someone, right? Libor, what would your advice be for your 16-year-old self?
Be humble, work hard, and don't be afraid to ask for help.
Yeah, Liam hears that quite a bit now. He's at
Yeah.
that pivotal age where his coaches are like, you need to come to us. You need to be more vocal, ask.
If that's what they're saying, that you have a very good coaches around you.
Oh my gosh, you guys. Well, time flies. We'd love to have you back on in the future. I feel like there's so much more to talk about.
Thank you for having us, and we see you also either in New York or in Dallas.
Yes, I was just going to say that. Yes, we look forward to meeting you guys soon.
Okay, I will have Liam. I will have the Barcelona jersey ready for you. Okay, we'll switch this ugly one. All right, guys. Thank you.
You guys have a good one.
Thank you very much for having us.
Okay,
Bye.
thanks.
Thank you.
Bye.